Hello guys, welcome to another forecast and trade recap. So it is Wednesday and currently markets are a bit flat, a bit range bound, which is not surprising for a December. So if you're going back this December, usually you will get some action in, let's say, the beginning of the first 2 weeks, and then price will die down, and this is what you're looking at. This sort of price action, this flat range bound price action most of the time. So sometimes actually I have seen on EU and AU you get some nice trends. So it's not that often, but you can sometimes get some nice trends in December as well. We will see what will happen with this December. Currently it's not looking promising. We are getting some very flat price action, but again, let's analyze. Let's see if there was any trades worth taking. So this is the euro and the US dollar, which is our starting pair. And I did take a trade right here. Very nice, very high probability trade. So what was I seeing? Well, I was seeing a very large descending channel, as you can spot right here. After this very large descending channel, we expect the price to start an uptrend. So then we got this candle, which kind of broke, which of course broke the high. It did break the low and the high in the same candle, but it broke the high with such strength that I was willing to look for a buy limit, or look to buy. Basically, this is the wrong high break. The most recent high break was right here on this candle, but the indicator unfortunately printed it wrong. So this is the high break, and this is by how much it broke, which is very large. And there's a clean close on the top of this candle as well. So that's looking very nice. That was looking very promising. At that point, I did place my order right here for a buy limit, 1 pip above, and then price continued up a little bit more. Then I moved it, I believe, 2 pips above and put a 12 pip stop loss. So that's kind of a rule you can use, you don't have to use. It doesn't really make much of a difference on a large sample size. But what I sometimes do is my first order, if it broke by just one candle, then I put it 1 pip above the level with a 13 pip stop loss. And if it breaks with 2 candles, which in this case, this is the first candle, this is the second one, I put it 2 pips above my level, and I put it with a 12 pip stop loss. To be honest, on a large sample size, it won't matter that much. I may even stop doing this practice and just always have it 1 pip above the level and with a 13 pip stop loss. Okay, so let's continue. Left my order on right here. Again, left my order on as well. Was I worried about an aggressive retrace? A little bit worried, but this very large descending channel was very clean, and this momentum was very strong right here in this one candle. It had a clean close, so I was willing to tolerate an aggressive retrace to my entry. Also, these wicks, yes, a bit of a concern, but again, no real momentum shifting, and the wicks are not that large. If the wicks were like this, then it would be a major concern. Okay, so because of the price action, because of the very clean descending channel, because of the strong break as well, and because it was Thursday, I was willing to tolerate some warning signs. Okay, I got tapped in, this candle tagged me in, and then price started going to the upside, and it was at one point running at 3.76, maybe even more, around 4% profit. So at one point it was running at 4% profit. My stop loss went 2 pips below this level, so 2 pips below the most recent low level. That's where my stop loss was moved to. So I was running a little bit of a risk. And then what happened? Well, it was NFP Friday, right? So let's do a bit more candles, a bit more. Okay, so this is now Friday, and NFP was at around, I think, 1:30 p.m. London time, something like that. That is usually the time for NFP. And if the price is close to my entry level and stop loss, actually if the price is close to my stop loss right before NFP, I will manually close the trade most of the time, okay? And in this scenario, let's print it out a bit more. I believe this was right before the NFP. Yeah, this candle was right before the NFP. Okay, let's bring it back a little bit more. And right before NFP, you can see it was very close to my stop loss level. My stop loss was located 2 pips below this, 2 pips below this line. So this was my stop loss. And again, the difference was just maybe 10 pips. Okay, so 12 pips, which is not a lot. What I know, during NFP, spreads can widen, volatility is very high, spreads can go up to 20, maybe even 30 pips. So if the price is very close to my stop loss, and my stop loss is like 10, 12, 20 pips from the current price level, it is much better to actually close the position. Otherwise, you risk getting taken out for much more than you initially risked, okay? So if you want to avoid the extra risk, close it before NFP. If price was somewhere here, for example, if price was at this level, I would have left my position open because it would not have been so close to my stop loss. But because the difference between the current price and the stop loss was like 12 pips, and I know spreads can go up to, as I said, 10, 15, 20, 30 pips. It is not worth, for me personally, having that position open. So I did manually close it somewhere around this level for like 0.8% win. Okay, manually closed. And it's good that I did that because look at how much this candle went down. And for sure, the spreads were huge during this move. So this was a large move. You can see the move was 56 pips. So definitely a large volatile candle. And I'm sure the spreads were very, very high during this volatile NFP candle. If I left my position open, I may have risked getting taken out for much more than I initially risked on this position. And I risked a 1% on this particular position. So that's about it for this trade. Just wanted to go over that. So on NFP after 8 a.m. London Open, I do not take any new trades. And if the current price right before NFP is close to my stop loss, I will manually close the position. If I'm running in major profit and if the current price is far away from my stop loss, I will leave the position open during NFP as well. That's kind of the summary. And let's see what happened next. So this was a very small win, like 0.8% win. But still a nice trade, I would say. I would take this trade again. It looks very, very nice, especially with the large descending channel. The bigger the descending channel is, the more high probability it is for a trend to start. In this case, a trend did not start, fortunately, but like 70% of the time, a nice uptrend will start, maybe even 80% of the time. Okay, let's see. Currently, we are very, very flat. So this is very, very flat, very, very range bound. You have this super volatile candle as well, some sort of a news candle, I would say. What I'm waiting for now is simply a large push up or a large push down. Okay, so that is what I'm waiting for on EU. EJ, it dropped heavily from the last recap, dropped heavily. But unfortunately, no opportunity for me to enter. And then we had this super volatile candle. So a huge move, a definite huge move on the Japanese pairs, like 500 pips in one day, I believe. A huge move on the JPY pairs, but no opportunity for me to enter. Then we ranged around, broke up, retraced, wasn't really looking for much. And this is flat. Okay, this is range bound. I'm looking for simply a large push up or a large push down. Okay, so what I can spot is possibly this ascending structure right here. So yeah, it is ascending, but overall the big picture is range bound. So maybe if we get some large momentum here, I would look for a setup, maybe, but I don't think so. As I said, overall, it's looking very flat, very range bound in this journal area. So I'm being more patient on EJ as well. Aussie US dollar, no setups for me personally. I mean, okay, we can look at these ones, but I believe we covered these setups in the last recap. Yeah, we did. So this was Wednesday. I did not take any sell setup. None of them fit my plan. If you want to know why, watch my last recap. Then price reversed, not enough of momentum for me to look for buys. And now we're just flat. We're just ranging around. I was possibly looking for something here, but I wanted to see a nice range. It wasn't looking that good. So my attention was on this pair because I was seeing a bit of momentum, but now that I look at it, it wasn't looking that good. So I should not have been looking for any positions, to be honest. And in the end, I did not take any positions on AU. Now we're flat. I mean, this is classic December price action. This is what you get. Like after the first 2 weeks of December, this is what you're looking at. Range bound price action. If you want to trade a range, if you want to sell the top, buy the bottom, you can do that. For me, as a trend trader and as a momentum trader, I am looking for momentum. So a large push up or a large push down. Very simple. There was a flag here. I know some people were looking at it. Here a flag formed. For me, no. Not good enough. I mean, look at this price action. Very flat, very range bound. Look at this impulse as well. Very volatile. Huge wick on the top. Large wick on the bottom. Yeah, just did not fit my plan at all with the price action and with how the impulse looks like. It looks very, very flat and range bound. So I did not take the flag. AJ, same story as EJ. We had a nice big drop to the downside. So this was on the last recap. I was looking for something here. But again, we saw momentum shifting in this one candle, which negated the whole scenario for me. It was too much selling pressure for me to look for a setup right here. We dropped heavily. And then we kind of ascended around a little bit, and now we are flat, range bound, so nothing to see here. Very, very flat, very, very range bound. Again, same as on all the other pairs, just looking for a large push up or a large push down. Very, very simple stuff. Then we have the pound, and the pound is just flat. Very, very flat. I think there was a setup. Yeah, there was a setup last week, actually. There was a setup to sell. If you were looking at this, price action was range bound and crap, but we had a nice push down. So the push down was okay. Nothing to write home about, but it was okay. And a flag did form. So this was a flag. It was like it is called an advanced flag or a free bar flag. Why? Well, because it's different than a regular flag where you have a push down and then you have something like this. It's actually made up of 3 candles. First is an inside bar, then it's an outside bar, and then you have the entry candle right here. So you have 1, 2, 3 candles. Inside bar, so the high is lower than this high, low is higher than this low. Outside bar, high is higher than this high, low is lower than this low, so it's kind of eating up the prior candle. And then you have the entry candle, which needs to be red if you're looking to sell. And in this case, we are looking to sell, so this would be the entry candle. Now I am implementing a different type of an entry style for the flags, which I do want to keep private for now. And according to that new entry, it's kind of a connected to time zones. So the London time zone, New York session, Asia session, it's connected to that, not so much with the price action. And it enabled me to be more patient and wait a bit more on this flag. So I did not end up taking the flag because according to the new type of an entry, this did not fit my plan just yet. Okay, so I did not take it. Then it broke the low. And right here, there was an opportunity to get in on a break and retest. I mean, we were seeing a nice push, pullback, and a nice push again. For me personally, this break was not that good. So it was a 3 pip break with the price action. I want to see a bit of a bigger break. If this was in a nice downtrend, if this was coming from like a downtrend like this, I would 100% look for a break and retest setup. But because price action was pretty crap, pretty descending and range bound and volatile, this break was not enough, especially because we kept breaking and leaving wicks as well. It's not a clean break of the low. Look at this. So wick, 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 then you get a clean close. If we got a bigger candle like this with a clean close, I would be interested in sell setups. So and it was during the night. So it was like 4 in the morning. What I know is I usually take crap trades during the night. So the worst trades I take happen during the night because I'm not thinking clearly. I'm checking the phone, not the PC. I make a decision too quickly and I do not really analyze the setup. So for the future, I tend to be more patient with taking trades during the night. And this is an example. Unfortunately, I did save myself a 1% loss. Okay, this would be a loss. So this break and retest would be a loss, right? So the entry would be possibly somewhere here. That would be a loss with a 15 pip stop loss or a 16 pip stop loss if you add a pip for the spreads. And the flag would be a loss as well if I use the classic flag entry. Okay, so save myself some percentage right here, which is very, very nice. Okay, but if you took a flag here, it's not wrong. I mean, the impulse was good, the flag formation was good. If you took the break and retest, not the best break and retest setup, but the flag setup was okay. So now just flat, range bound, not looking like it has any potential. Really, really flat, classic December price action. I'm looking for a push up or I'm looking for a push down like this. That's about it for the pound. Last one that we have on the list is of course the New Zealand and the Japanese yen. Let's see this one. There was a setup on this one as well. We had a lot of setups forming. Here, I was not looking for a flag because momentum, for me personally, momentum clearly shifted down. This was major, major selling pressure. So I was not interested to take a flag right here after that selling pressure. Then we went down. There was another opportunity right here. One candle pullback, we break the low. So my eyes were on this. Prior price action was not the best. We kind of had this sort of we had a descending, okay. Push up, and then we had this descending as well. It was unclear, okay. Prior price action was unclear here. It was not high probability. It was not really range bound. It was unclear. At that point, I do not count it as being high probability. If it's unclear, it's not high probability. High probability patterns, you can spot them clearly. So this would be a high probability pattern, for example. This is 100% a super high probability pattern with a very clean descending channel and a push up. You expect this to happen. So that's a high probability prior price action. But this is just unclear. It's not telling me, it's not showing me what I want to see. We did get a break and retest opportunity. So we got a push down, one candle pullback, we break the low, but the break was not enough for me. So because prior price action was unclear, I wanted to see a bigger break here. I wanted to see something like this, a clear, strong break of the low. This break was too weak. Let's see by how much it even broke. 2.5 pips. I wanted like a 5 pip, maybe even a 8 pip, 10 pip break. That would be perfect. This was not enough of a break. But if you took this, maybe you would get tagged in if your entry was on the inside bar or 2 pips below the inside bar. Not sure how you put in your entries, but this would be a winning trade if you manage to get in. And again, it's gonna happen. Prior price action does not need to be high probability for you to get a winning trade, but on a large sample size, it's in your best interest to take trades coming from high probability prior price action. On a large sample size, of course. And then we were flat. So we had a huge move on all the JPY pairs, right? Huge move. Like 300 pips, is that right? Yeah, 3%. So 300 pips move, huge move, and now we're flat. We are range bound. We had a range here. Now we're descending. Okay, so we're descending here. So we're forming a descending channel. Not the cleanest, not the cleanest. The reason is breaking the lows, breaking the lows, breaking the highs, breaking the highs, breaking the lows. Starting to clean up a bit. So possibly if this starts to give me a clear descending channel, which only keeps breaking the lows and not the highs, and then this happens, I will look to buy. Okay, in that scenario, I will look for buy setups. But to be honest, I'm just thinking this will happen and that we will just range around. So I'm being more patient on the New Zealand Japanese yen. And that's about it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Again, a lesson on the NFP is on the euro and the US dollar, and we have some trades that happened, for example, on the pound. Where was it? Here, and on NJ here, that were very, very interesting to cover. So December usually crap, but sometimes you can get some trends. Be prepared. I would not stop trading, but I would be a little bit more patient and a little bit more selective with my setups. That's it. See you guys in the next video.